From the perspective of the U.S. economy, I think we've seen continuing signs of strength.
Continuing signs of strength? What are you, nuts? Household spending dropped to its lowest level since 2008. Retail sales dropped to its lowest level in 9 years. Wages to its lowest level in 30 years. Disposable income to its lowest level in 40 years. Home ownership to its lowest level in 30 years. What's he talking about? That's Jack Lew, our Treasury Secretary. We can't trust anything that comes out of Washington or Wall Street. And that's why I want you to join Phil's Gang. My name is Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Look, the reason you stay away from the stock market because you're fearful, because no one has taught you how to invest. You go to school to learn how to do math. You go to school to learn how to drive. Why don't you go to school to learn how to invest using charts? Join my gang, philsgang.com, the best teaching format in the country when it comes to stocks.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's being taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. It's Christmas season. That's right. Everybody loves Christmas, and the favorite color of Christmas is green and red. You see it everywhere. Well, that's my favorite color, too. And it's my favorite color of my gang because we have Christmas year-round. How does that happen? We have what we call PT2, a wonderful tool. It turns green when it tells us the institutions are buying a stock, and it turns red when they're taking their money out. Nothing better. Green to buy, red to sell. Oh, I know you've heard this stuff before, and it doesn't seem silly and all that, but it works. It works. It's Christmas time year-round here at Phil's Gang. It really is. Check it out. Call or go to my site, philsgang.com. Check out the PT2. You'll love it, and you're just in time because they are going to start rallying oil stocks. And when it turns green, we will be in position to buy. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Our economy has been moving.
Yeah, in the wrong direction. This is the same guy that told us we could keep our doctor and we could keep our health insurance. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Look, I have the best teaching format in the country when it comes to learning how to invest in stocks. People will tell you that. Look, we can't listen to Wall Street. We can't listen to our government. We listen to our charts. That's why you join philsgang.com. Food stamps have exceeded 45 million for 50 straight months, and he's telling us things are good. What are you, nuts?
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. At philsgang.com, we promote core technicals and chart analysis that enables each Phil's Gang member to be the best investor they can be. At philsgang.com, stock investing is defined in detail by the Phil's Gang standards. Working together, we achieve our goals and ultimately provide a truly unique profit-taking experience for our members. This is what philsgang.com does, and no one does it better than the off-the-Wall Street maverick, Phil Grande. For over 15 years, Phil coaches and teaches that stock investing diversity goes beyond fundamentals and stories. We believe that amazing things happen when people invest in themselves by following Phil's format and recommendations. At philsgang.com, we believe in the desire to embrace, build, and deliver on our core values and promises. And for over 15 years, Phil Grande has delivered on that promise. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, this last 1,900-point drop in the stock market scared everybody. They called it a crash. But here at Phil's Gang, we call it an opportunity. Why? Because I taught my students how to read a chart. And here's the problem in this industry. You go somewhere to learn how to drive a car, but you never go anywhere to learn how to invest in a stock. Well, you'll do that here at Phil's Gang. Join my gang, philsgang.com, the best teaching format in the country when it comes to stocks.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Do you think gold is money?
No.
Gold's not money? You got to be kidding. That's Ron Paul asking Ben Bernanke. Of course, Ben Bernanke lied. Of course, gold is money. But here's what he doesn't want you to know. They've been suppressing gold, trying to push gold down because it competes with the dollar. The Federal Reserve doesn't sell gold. They sell dollars. Gold competes. Gold will dictate in a free market where interest rates should be. That's the last thing they want. because they manipulate interest rates. Now, has your broker told you that? Has your planner told you that? No. Well, I told my gang that. I explained it to them, and we positioned ourselves to be in a perfect position for gold and copper as it dropped. That's why you want to join my gang, Phil's Gang. We're right on top of this. philsgang.com. Join today. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, it used to be, hey, what's that hot stock? There's no hot stocks anymore. You know what it's all about now? It's identifying when to get in the market, when to get out. And why? Because the market is rigged. It's rigged to go up. There's nothing better. It's rigged to go up. It's called quantitative easing. Join my gang, philsgang.com. Have fun with us in a rigged market.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
We all grew up with the American dream. The American dream are surprisingly, very interestingly, the things we spend the most amount of money and time on. What are components of the American dream? Owning a home, going to college, having a safe and stable job for 40 years, and then a nice retirement income. All three of those things have been destroyed in the American dream. We already saw in 2009 that the American dream was a total lie in the mortgage industry. A lot of people say, well, I need roots. I need my kids to grow up with a backyard. Factory owners were the initial lenders or the initial people who would sell you your house because they don't want you to move away from the factory. They want you trapped at your job. You know, you picture the white picket fence. The white picket fence is not to keep other people out. It's to keep you in.
And boy, is that true. Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country, off the Wall Street Radio Network. Okay, today is a special day. The market's down 300 points. Oil, again, is dropping. Oil is creating a bust in this stock market. That's one thing that they're not going to be able to keep this market going up and up like they've been with oil going down and down. Oil is the one component that could take this market down, which is going to give you a great opportunity. So today, I'm going to focus on, for all you folks who never made money shorting a stock, meaning when the stock market goes down, your planner, your money manager never had you positioned to make money. And you weren't. If you remember the dot-com crash, you lost over 50% of your money. The housing con and stock market crash, 50% of your money. You lost a total of $7 trillion, or $5 trillion in a dot-com crash, $7 trillion. This bubble that we're in now, called the QE bubble, the stock buyback bubble, is twice as big. They pushed it twice as hard. They've been driving the stock market twice as hard with printing of money, making sure people are out of bonds, making sure big countries don't buy U.S. bonds, make sure they push them into the stock market. It's been incredible in the last 9 years. What a rally. But it's going to fall just as hard. So, you don't have to be afraid to short. They always get you scared about shorting a stock. What we're going to offer at Phil's Gang is you don't have to short to make money when the S&P drops. There's what we call an inverse, meaning instead of shorting, you buy. You buy. So the symbol is SH. They're called pro shares, SH. It's just the inverse. instead of shorting SPY, betting SPY is going to go down and make money as it goes down, you buy SH. That's the symbol. So simple, so easy. Now I'm going to give you our number, 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG. And if you never joined a gang, this is the one time you need to do it. To be in a position, because please, explain something to me. Why are we going to be so lucky this time, the third bubble, that this is not going to end up like the past two bubbles? Why are we going to be so lucky on Wednesday, December 16th, when she raises rates on B, yelling? I mean, Yellen is just lying. Wall Street is swimming in vast wealth. Main Street, huge number of Americans have dropped from the job market. Middle class wages are stagnant. And even a larger number of Americans are now dependent on some form of government subsidy for disability, jobless benefits, food stamps under Obama. The population, huge. The number of people that are receiving some sort of government help is incredible. Under Obama's watch, 5.3% of the total population is receiving half of its total income in 1 year period from welfare, from the government. But we're being told, hey, let's raise rates. The economy is doing so well. Under Obama, while total dependency on welfare has been growing, the number of Americans needing some of federal aid to get by has skyrocketed. But we're told, hey, let's raise rate. Things are terrific. The last report from the government estimates more than 23% of Americans live in a family that receives some welfare, some form of welfare. But hey, let's raise rates. Things are good. Dependency on welfare has been growing. So we're going to raise rates? This is crazy. The number of Americans needing welfare is skyrocketing. This is all being masked. All being masked. One of the fastest growing areas of federal dependency is Social Security disability, where the number of Americans have ballooned from 7.4 million when Obama took office. He's doubled it, more than doubled it. Almost 16 million. Let me say that again. If we're raising rates because the economy is doing so good, then would someone explain to me, then how could we be doing so good? The disability checks have doubled. People going on disability from 7.4 million to almost 15 million, 16 million. And we're going to raise rates. This is nuts. Go in history since he started Obamacare. Go look at the history of Obamacare. Oh, Obamacare has been terrific. It's been wonderful. Wow, all the brag about Obamacare. We got more than 40 million new people that didn't have insurance. We got about half of them now on insurance. Oh, really? Really? But they can't afford it without government assistance. Government assistance. People who've gone on Obamacare. They've gotten there. They've gotten the Obamacare because of assistance. Government assistance. More than 3/4 of the people who went to Obamacare, who buy these plans, who are participants, almost 3/4 get some sort of government participant. And we're the government, you and I. So Yellen says the economy is doing so well, this time we're going to raise rates. She says she's going to raise rates, and her decision is based on data. Well, wait a minute, I just given you some data. I got it. The only data she was interested in was the fake 5% unemployment rate, when it's really 12%. She's not interested in the data I just gave. She's not interested in that data. So when they raise rates with the price of oil going down, look what oil has done to this market just this week. We're almost down 300 points again. What a terrific time to get in the market. What I want you to do right now, 877-600-GANG is the number. Denise, will talk to you. Stephen will talk to you. You don't even have to buy a chart. Just join the gang, and we're going to take SH, and you follow me every day on SH. It just turned from red to green today. And that means as the market drops, SH goes up, and the more it goes up, it's the same thing as the market dropping, so you don't have to get scared. So you'll make money. And SH is $21.11 a share. If you don't this time, you missed the market collapse in .coms, the market collapse in a housing company. You're going to miss it now, and I will hold your hand through it. Join my gang, Phil's gang. 877-600-GANG. Denise, Stephen are there now to take your call.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com, Phil's Gang Radio Show. You know, we just went through a 1,900-point stock market drop, fastest drop ever in 2 days. Most of you panicked. At Phil's Gang, we didn't look at it as a crash. We looked at it as an opportunity because we were short. Why? Because I was able to teach my students how to read a chart, so in advance, they would know that the market was going to go down. It's all about learning. It's always amazed me, our whole life. Someone teaches us to play baseball. Someone teaches us to ski. Someone teaches us how to drive a car. But there's nobody there to teach you how to invest in a stock. And that's where I come in. I think I have the best teaching format in the country. Check it out. It's philsgang.com. So you'll be so comfortable, you don't care if the market's going down or the market's going up. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of Phil's Gang. You know, on May 29th, I warned that a stock market crash was coming. I also warned in July. Both times, I was watching my technology, my PT2 chart, and it turned from green to red. Both in May and July, we had substantial warnings. We saw the industrials fall. We saw that the market, the Chinese market was falling, was getting worse. Oil was falling. Copper was falling. Everything was falling. But again, CNBC was telling you, hey, things are cheap. Diversify. Everything's wonderful. But my chart was giving me something different. And on both those occasions, both in May and July, I told my gang, let's short the stock market now because my PT2 chart indicated a sell-off was coming in. And we did. And we had a wonderful ride all the way down. Join my gang, Phil's Gang.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande. Stop worrying about the price to book and the price to sales and all the stuff they tell you you think you need to know. You don't need to know any of that. Anybody can make money in the stock market using charts. It's about money flow. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. At philsgang.com, we promote core technicals and chart analysis that enables each Phil's Gang member to be the best investor they can be. At philsgang.com, stock investing is defined in detail by the Phil's Gang standards. Working together, we achieve our goals and ultimately provide a truly unique profit-taking experience for our members. This is what philsgang.com does, and no one does it better than the off-the-Wall Street maverick, Phil Grande. For over 15 years, Phil coaches and teaches that stock investing diversity goes beyond fundamentals and stories. We believe that amazing things happen when people invest in themselves by following Phil's format and recommendations. At philsgang.com, we believe in the desire to embrace, build, and deliver on our core values and promises. And for over 15 years, Phil Grande has delivered on that promise. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. What is Phil's Gang? Phil'sGang.com is a subscription website service that host Phil Grande has been teaching and providing daily stock investment recommendations for over 15 years, all in the name of making its customers educated investors and helping the kids at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you want to take charge of your financial future, then do not wait any longer. For only $49.95, become a Phil's Gang member today. Go to Phil'sGang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of Phil's Gang. You know, on May 29th, I warned that a stock market crash was coming. I also warned in July. Both times, I was watching my technology, my PT2 chart, and it turned from green to red. Both in May and July, we had substantial warnings. We saw the industrials fall. We saw that the market, the Chinese market was falling, was getting worse. Oil was falling. Copper was falling. Everything was falling. But again, CNBC was telling you, hey, things are cheap, diversify, everything's wonderful. But my chart was giving me something different. And on both those occasions, both in May and July, I told my gang, let's short the stock market now, because my PT2 chart indicated a sell-off was coming in. And we did. And we had a wonderful ride all the way down. Join my gang, Phil's Gang.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Back to Phil's Gang special edition. The market's now down 330 points. Now, I told my gang this would happen, just like I told them in August when the market dropped 1,900 points. When it dropped 1,900 points. And we started to short it in May. Started in May, and then it dropped. So right now, the same thing. We just started. It's now 330 points. And what I'm saying to you, who listen to me every day and you hear me talk about the charts and so forth, you can do this very passively. I will prove to you. And the only investment you're going to have is $49.95 plus the amount of shares that you want to buy. So all you have to do is take a look. If you want right now, go to philsgang.com. If you have one of your mobile devices, and look at SH. I have it up for you. Just click on Watch Live. Go to philsgang.com. Click on Watch Live. Look where it turned from red to green today. The first day of green. We get one more green day. We execute. So as SH goes up, you make money as the stock market goes down. So you don't have to feel afraid of shorting, because all you're doing is buying SH instead of selling short the spiders. It's just the opposite. Great time to try this. You don't even have to buy a chart or lease a chart. You don't have to. Just follow me on my PT2 while you try this. It's an investment of $49.95. You don't have to buy the chart right now. Just follow me on this chart, on my chart. And I do all the work for you. Let me give you the number, 877-600-GANG. Now, Steven's there. Denise is there. They'll take your call. You're not calling Hong Kong or the Philippines or somewhere, some answering service. They're there. They'll explain to you what's going on. And then all I ask, if you do well, please send some donations to St. Jude. We started this with St. Jude almost 15 years ago. Partners in Hope. You can send whatever you want. Partners in Hope. Remember, St. Jude, all this money that's going to St. Jude has helped push the overall childhood cancer survival rate from 22% to more than 80% since it opened 50 years ago. 50 years ago. I mean, how wonderful is that? So I'm going to reach out and help you right now. Call, join the gang, 877-600-GANG, and this time, this will be the third bubble that's going to crack. And it's going to break. Why is it going to be any different? When you hear from these people that this is different, oh, really? Anytime you hear it's different this time, run like hell. So check it out. So you can join right now. Now, we're talking about, this is interesting. We're talking about, are they going to raise rates? Aren't they going to raise rates? She says she's going to raise rates. Now, I want you to think about this. As I said to you a moment ago, I read all the stats to you about how poorly this country is doing, how people are living on, we've never had so many people on welfare. In this Obamacare, 3/4 of the people who signed up, they didn't have any money. You and I had to subsidize them. Let's talk about jobs. Yellen kept saying that she was making a decision to raise rates based on data. Well, she has not looked into any of the data, obviously. She hasn't looked into the data that one of the fastest growing areas of the federal dependency is Social Security disability. Now, you'd think she would look at that and say, how many people are now getting a check on disability? And she would see it more than doubled since 2009. And she's going to raise rates? What is she, nuts? But she wants, all she does is, I'm going to look at the jobs. The jobs. It's always jobs with her. In October, the 271,000, it wasn't 271. It was 126,000. 142 were fake. They were birthed fake. And then in November, we got 211,000, which 45 of those were fake. They were birthed. And to make the numbers even look better, Yellen instructed the BLS to readjust the October numbers of 271, adjust them upward to 298. Yellen says she is data dependent. That's how she's going to make a decision on whether or not to raise rates. She has certain criteria, she said. Labor, the most important. She wants to see an improvement in full-time jobs over part-time, and it's not happening. In fact, in November alone, with 211,000 increased jobs, we had the biggest surge in part-time jobs of 375,000 in 3 years. And the labor force participation rate number, the lowest point since 1970s. I thought she said she was data dependent. It's clear the only data she is dependent on is jobs data. She is ignoring the weak economic data, such as Black Friday. The retail numbers have tanked. Wheels came off. Trains off the track. I thought she said she was looking at data. She's not looking at the data there. She's not looking at the data with how many. We doubled the amount of people on disability, the amount of homes that are now have somebody on welfare. In fact, she even changed her spin. Instead of saying, remember her spin? She's waiting to see an improvement in labor force participation rate and an improvement in full-time jobs versus part-time jobs and increase inflation. I am going to wait for those before I raise rates. Oh, really? Now she turns around and says today she's confident the economy is doing so well. She's confident that the improvements that she has been waiting for, those improvements that she's been waiting for, they'll kick in after she raises the rates. Wait a minute. That sounds familiar. Remember? Oh, don't worry about Obamacare. Let's just sign it now. Let's just pass the law now. We'll worry about it later. Now she's doing the same thing. Wait. I'm not going to wait anymore to see if we have an improvement in the labor force participation rate or if we have an improvement in full-time jobs or if we have an increase in inflation. I'm not going to wait. I decided to raise the rates anyways because it'll come. It'll come. This all will happen down the road. What are you, nuts? See, Yellen wants to raise rates now while the economy and the stock market is getting worse and worse because of the tanking oil prices. She wants to raise rates now so she can take this market and make it plunge. And I'll explain why when I get back. Here's the number, 877-600-GANG. Join so I can show you how to make money on the inverse of the S&P while the market drops. You can make money. Call now.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
They just told us right away that we're going to house you, we're going to feed you, and every single one of his medical bills is just all taken care of.
Saber que el tratamiento es completamente gratis nos quita una preocupación de encima.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes. And that's what makes St. Jude so magical.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's been taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
Generally agree that monetary policy was not the main reason for the housing bubble.
What are you, nuts? Of course, monetary policy was the reason for the housing bubble. That's Ben Bernanke. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. He's lying. Listen to this. In December 2000, interest rates were 6.5%. Within the next 30 months, Bernanke dropped them down to 1%. Because of that, mortgage originations grew from 1.5 trillion to 5 trillion. That was by the end of 2003. The housing bubble was inflated, and it was continued being fueled by his policies, which eventually we saw mortgages that grew from 28 trillion mortgage to 50 trillion. He lied. But here's the important thing. We were able to take advantage of that here at Phil's Gang, and we were able to make money because of it. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Middle-class economics works.
Works? Where? Show me where it works. You tell us the unemployment rate is 5.1%, and you only get to 5.1% by making sure people don't have a job. Think of August. August, the unemployment rate went down to 5.1% because 200,000 people couldn't find a job. If they found a job, our unemployment rate would be at 10%. Isn't this amazing? Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Aren't you sick of this stuff? Aren't you sick of these politicians? They keep lying to us. You know, Wall Street does too. And how many times have you said, boy, I hate Wall Street. I hate the stock market. But that's the best place in the world to make money. But you need a lesson. You need a lesson on how to invest. That's where I come in. Join my gang, philsgang.com. It's the best teaching format in the country when you want to learn how to invest in stocks. philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Our economy has been moving.
Yeah, in the wrong direction. This is the same guy that told us we could keep our doctor and we could keep our health insurance. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Look, I have the best teaching format in the country when it comes to learning how to invest in stocks. People will tell you that. Look, we can't listen to Wall Street. We can't listen to our government. We listen to our charts. That's why you join philsgang.com. Food stamps have exceeded 45 million for 50 straight months, and he's telling us things are good. What are you, nuts?
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Do you think gold is money?
No.
Gold's not money? You got to be kidding. That's Ron Paul asking Ben Bernanke. And of course, Ben Bernanke lied. Of course, gold is money. But here's what he doesn't want you to know. They've been suppressing gold, trying to push gold down because it competes with the dollar. The Federal Reserve doesn't sell gold. They sell dollars. Gold competes. Gold will dictate in a free market where interest rates should be. That's the last thing they want because they manipulate interest rates. Now, has your broker told you that? Has your planner told you that? No. Well, I told my gang that. I explained it to them, and we positioned ourselves to be in a perfect position for gold and copper as it dropped. That's why you want to join my gang, Phil's Gang. We're right on top of this. philsgang.com. Join today. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's been taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang Special Edition. You can sign up, 877-600-GANG. The market's down 324 points. Remember, the stock market for 7 months went sideways, only had a 3% range from the low to the top. And that tells you that the market's going to break, that the internals are really bad. They finally broke. Go to my site, philsgang.com. If you have a mobile device, you can see this. And you can see where it broke in August, went down 1,900 points. And all you had to do is be short the spiders, but you're afraid of that. So we have what we call a program that instead of shorting, you go long. You buy it just like any other stock, like GE or whatever, or Facebook. You just buy it, SH. And so that as the stock market collapses, you're making money, but you're buying SH. I put it on my chart, and it just turned green today. And it will, and if this market drops just like it did in August, then you pick those gains up. I do this every day for you. Now, after it dropped, we had the rally. They pumped it right back up, and now it's doing the same thing. Take a look at it today. It looks exactly like it looked in August, exact same pattern. So what I'm saying to you, for those who never, ever made money with a stock market collapse, this is the third bubble. Join my gang. It's $49.95. You don't have to get the chart right now. Just use my chart. I'll guide you using my chart. As long as it continues to be green, we will continue to buy. And that means every day the market goes down, you're making money. It'll be the first time you've done that. At least you're going to hold on to something this time instead of getting killed, losing 50% of what you had in the market. So join my gang, 877-600-GANG. You can call right now, 877-600-GANG, and Denise is there, and Steve, and they'll talk to you and get you set up for the gang membership. At the end of the month, if you don't like it, that's it. Now, you don't have to re-sign up. And I will guide you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to spend any time on it. You can be totally passive. And we'll just stay with that one. It's called the spiders. We'll just stay with the spiders. You missed it in August when it went down 1,900 points. We don't want you to miss it this time. And then you'll say, wow, this works. This works. Now, remember, she's saying she's going to raise rates because the economy is doing well. Well, let's come on now. This is nuts. Obama, who promised if we elected him, he would empower everyday Americans on Main Street, you, me, all of us, over wealthy banksters and hedge fund operators. He stood there, and I believed him, and you believed him the first time he ran, and he spoke so well, and he said, this is terrible, the money that the Wall Street bankers made. And guess what? He was right with them. And he screwed us. He lied. He didn't empower us. Wall Street soared 220%. Small segment of the population, 10% of the wealthiest Americans in the world amassed a fortune because they were in the stock market. That's where their net worth is, in stocks. Well, Main Street, they didn't have that kind of money. Their 401ks, they depleted them, most of them. Large numbers of folks dropped out of their 401k. They needed the money. They dropped out from the job market. Middle class wages are stagnant. He didn't promise that. He didn't promise that. And even a larger number of Americans are now dependent on some sort of form of government welfare, especially disability checks, some sort of jobless benefit for food stamps. So let's not give up what you have. Let's try to create some of this wealth this time when the market drops. You do that simply by joining the gang. And after 4 weeks, if it's not working, you leave. And all you did is invested in yourself, $49.95. That's it. That's the risk you're taking. Now, Obama, with all his new aggressive regulations, what's the first thing he did to Main Street? He killed small street businesses. He killed them on purpose. He killed millions of small businesses. All all these regulations. And then he went in to make sure small businesses couldn't get money, couldn't go in and access money to grow or to pay for inventory or to expand. He goes in, he says to his buddies on Wall Street, I'm going to pile on regulations on the community banks in which the small businesses have to rely on. I'm going to make sure I put so many regulations on these small banks, these community banks, they're going to have to sell them to you. They'll sell them to you. And that's how we're going to crush small businesses. And after all, these small businesses, they didn't create their businesses. We did, the government. Remember that? All these regulations killed Main Street, killed the jobs, and that's why we are where we are today. The few community banks that are left, they have less money than they ever had, and they're not loaning it. They can't loan it. It's been a struggle. We've never had so many small businesses closing their doors since the Depression. Are you kidding? And what else Obama has done, the federal government has done? They've been loaning to these punks, to these 20-somethings, money under the guise of being students. You know there's more of these people who wouldn't get these student loans. They're not students. It's a form of welfare. Obama's trying to get the young people to be Democrats. To be Democrats. Here, listen to this. He's been masking these programs as college education, giving kids student loans who shouldn't have them. Listen to this.
I get a stipend from the county to pay my rent.
I'd like you to tell me about that stipend.
I mean, I get like $400.
Do you need a tissue?
No, I get like $437 a month to pay my rent. You know what I'm saying? From the county, you know.
$437 a month from the government.
Yeah.
Which government?
The Ramsey County aid office. That's where I live in St. Paul. You know, they got an aid office when you can't find no job and you're a student. They give you money to live on. You know what I'm saying? If you already got your own apartment, you know what I'm saying? They give you money to live on a month just because you're a student.
Well, if you were getting money, why didn't you give Miss Reed any money for rent?
Because our agreement was that I didn't have to pay anyone.
No, what I'm asking you is if it's for you free money, which is what it is, free money for you.
I mean, simply because
what you were doing.
I wouldn't want to pay her.
No, pay attention to what I'm saying. The county was giving you free money, and it was for rent. Why weren't you giving that money towards your own rent when you were living with Miss Reed?
Because she said she was going to cover it. That's why.
So what did you do with the money that you were getting?
I spent it on myself.
Right. That's what I wanted to hear.
So this bum gets $26,000 student loan, plus he gets from the state or the city money for his rent. He goes, lives with this chick, so he doesn't have to, so he doesn't pay the rent. He goes, gets a girlfriend. And then finally the girlfriend figured out she was being used. And now she wants rent and he won't pay it. My point is that Obama, what he did is create these student loans. Many of them. It was just another welfare program. It was masked. These student loans, they're just masking these welfare programs through these student loans. God. So he's really helped the wealthy become very, very rich. And Main Street, what's he done for Main Street? Nothing. 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 So now people are struggling. People are struggling. And we talked about, what else is he doing? He's taking care of the wealthy. We talk about this, especially what's going on now with ISIS and so forth. Did you know that the Pentagon, the top generals, and the CIA, for more than a year, had a plan in place that, according to top generals, would have wiped out ISIS in 180 days. And Obama stopped that plan, and so did the industrial complex. We'll talk about that and more stocks. Remember, join my gang, this program, SH program, 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. It's Christmas season. That's right. Everybody loves Christmas, and the favorite color of Christmas is green and red. You see it everywhere. Well, that's my favorite color too. And it's my favorite color of my gang because we have Christmas year round. How does that happen? We have what we call PT2, a wonderful tool. It turns green when it tells us the institutions are buying a stock, and it turns red when they're taking their money out. Nothing better. Green to buy, red to sell. Oh, I know you've heard this stuff before and it doesn't seem silly and all that, but it works. It works. It's Christmas time year round here at Phil's Gang. It really is. Check it out. Call or go to my site, philsgang.com. Check out the PT2. You'll love it, and you're just in time because they are going to start rallying oil stocks. And when it turns green, we will be in position to buy. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, many people left the stock market after the crash, and here's why.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
And that's still going on. That's your planner. They don't represent you. They represent themselves, your money manager. But you have to make a change. You can't change them. You make the change. Join my gang, philsgang.com, so that we can take care of you. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. It's Christmas season. That's right. Everybody loves Christmas, and the favorite color of Christmas is green and red. You see it everywhere. Well, that's my favorite color too. And it's my favorite color of my gang because we have Christmas year round. How does that happen? We have what we call PT2, a wonderful tool. It turns green when it tells us the institutions are buying a stock, and it turns red when they're taking their money out. Nothing better. Green to buy, red to sell. Oh, I know you've heard this stuff before and it doesn't seem silly and all that, but it works. It works. It's Christmas time year round here at Phil's Gang. It really is. Check it out. Call or go to my site, philsgang.com. Check out the PT2. You'll love it, and you're just in time because they are going to start rallying oil stocks. And when it turns green, we will be in position to buy. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Be sure to watch the Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grande, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on various devices like smartphones, tablets, your computer, and more. Get free access to the Phil's Gang Show right in your hands at home or on the go. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com and click on the Listen Live link. And we'll see you on the charts.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com, Phil's Gang Radio Show. You know, we just went through a 1,900-point stock market drop, fastest drop ever in 2 days. Most of you panicked. At Phil's Gang, we didn't look at it as a crash. We looked at it as an opportunity because we were short. Why? Because I was able to teach my students how to read a chart, so in advance, they would know that the market was going to go down. It's all about learning. It's always amazed me, our whole life. Someone teaches us to play baseball. Someone teaches us to ski. Someone teaches us how to drive a car. But there's nobody there to teach you how to invest in a stock. And that's where I come. I think I have the best teaching format in the country. Check it out. It's philsgang.com. So you'll be so comfortable. You don't care if the market's going down or the market's going up. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Welcome to my special edition. The number is 877-600-GANG. And I'm going to help you. This will be the third bubble that's going to break. This bubble is twice as big as the last two, the dot-com and the housing com, where you lost 5 trillion. Then the second one, you lost 7 trillion. This one will be about 20 trillion. These bubbles are created. These bubbles are created by the Federal Reserve. That's how they make money. Boom to bust. By printing money, by raising and lowering rates. It's all manipulated. And that's why we use the charts, so we just follow them. Now, I want you to see, most of you never made money when the market went down. I want to do a special program. All I ask is you donate some money to St. Jude if you're successful at it. Just follow me every day. You don't have to come to class. You don't have to do anything. Just wait for the alerts. It'll be one stock. The symbol is SH. What that is the spiders, the S&P 500. Okay, when the S&P goes down, you're too afraid to do it. You're too afraid to short. You're scared to short. That's why you sat there and lost money all the way down. Your stupid advisors would tell you, cost average down, cost average down. You'll never do that again. I'm going to show you this time that you're going to make money. Because what we do is we buy just the inverse of the spiders, called SH. So when it goes up, that means the spiders are losing money. So you can feel comfortable having it go up. We do it for you. You're just investing $49.95 in what it costs for the stock. And every day you just check in and you see, as long as it stays green, and you don't even have to get a chart, you can use our chart, you can see it every day, stays green, you just stay with it. As it keeps going up, that means the market's going down and losing money. Now, if you don't think this market's going to collapse like the other two, then please explain to me, where do you have that knowledge? We can't find it anywhere. Because both the dot-coms, the housing con and this con, they're all the same. That's what the Federal Reserve does. They create boom to bust, printing money, cheap money, and then they take all that money and they put it into the market to push stocks up. That's what they do. Stocks don't go up anymore by good sales, by earnings, new technology. They don't do that anymore. Why do they have to have technology? Why do they have to have R&D? They don't plow money in R&D anymore. They plow out into stock options. And that's why they all fail for the same reason. They all reach the same point where they can't go up anymore. And then what happens? Sales stop. Prices decelerate. They start laying people off, and you go into the recession. We've been waiting for this one to do the same thing for 9 years. 9 years! Because when it was ready to collapse in 2012, they came in and started another program to keep it going. From 2012 to 2015, the stock buyback program. Now what she's going to do is raise rates, knowing that oil right now is getting killed. Oil's dropping below $37. And once you get under $37 oil, it becomes a disaster because they can't get any investing. They start laying off thousands and thousands of people. The worst thing that could ever happen. Now she's going to raise rates while oil is going down, while the market is going down. She's going to do it to push the market down even further so she can get a QE program. The same program that she got in the beginning to raise the rally, or not her, but Bernanke in 2009. The same exact program. She wants it back. She needs it. She has to have QE because stock buyback program is done. So when earnings are falling and stock prices are going down, they stop those stock prices from falling by buying their own stock back. Well, they can't do that anymore. Now they're raising rates. So they need something to push the stock prices up. And they're going to go back to QE. They're going to go back to QE. So you're going to have an incredible opportunity. Remember, QE, when they brought in QE in November 2008, the first QE pushed up the market 80%. They put $1 trillion in. The second QE, they put $650 billion in, pushed the market up 33%. Then they had operational twist in September 2011, $400 billion, moved the market up another 28%. And before each one of those, the market dropped 10%. They had to come back in and do QE too, push it up 33. Then when they stopped, it dropped 10%. They came in and did the operational twist, put in $400 billion, pushed the market back up 28%. Then when they stopped, it dropped around 10% again. Then they did QE3. And finally, that went up 25%. They put $1 trillion in. So they put in $1 trillion, went up 80%. They put in another 650, went up 33%. They did another one, operational twist, $400 billion, went up 28%. Then QE3, the last one, ended in 2012. They put in $1 trillion, went up 25%. When they stopped in October 2014 to make sure the market wasn't going to come down because earnings were so bad, they started to do the stock buybacks. Now they can't do the stock buybacks. Now the market's twice as high as it's ever been. It's not sustainable. It's all nonsense. It's not earnings that drove the market. It was printing of money and giving to the market. So now they got to bring in QE again. So, but first, she's got to make sure the market goes down. She's got to go to Congress and prove to Congress, hey, we need it. Look at the market's going down. She's already got oil pushing the market down. So this is her opportunity to really collapse the market because she knows she needs QE. She can't just say tomorrow morning, hey, we're going to put QE in now. How are you going to do that with the market up 200%? She can't. So I want you, with my gang members, to be positioned for this. So the market is already dropping because of oil. Now it's down another 322% today. Look at my site. Go to philsgang.com. Look at where it says watch live, and you'll see my chart, PT2. It just turned green today. That's what you're going to follow right there. You're only paying $49.95. You're going to follow that all the way up. And when the higher that goes, the lower the stock market goes, and you make money. The market's down 322%. So here, call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG. Steve's there, Denise is there. So again, if you look at SH, go to my site right now. If you got a mobile device, you'll see it. And as that green line, that you see it's at $21.11, as that goes up, then the market is going down. The S&P is dropping, okay? And that's what's happening. The Dow's going to drop. The S&P, we're down 322 points. So check out, try it this time. And then you say, God, I wish I knew this. When the dot-com, when I lost half of my money during the dot-com, then I lost half of my money during the housing and stock market con. This is the third time. I'm not going to miss out this time. Now, and the other thing that's going to take this market down, okay, and why this market is so bad, is that they've killed our small businesses. The regulations killed Main Street. The mountains of new regulations killed Main Street. Obama did this on purpose. Are you kidding? He's been doing this on purpose. So right now, there's no small businesses alive. We got more people, small business closing their doors than opening. So you don't have the small businesses to create the full-time jobs. And all the jobs, because of the Obama health care that were full-time, with the big companies like Walmart's and all those companies, they're all cut to part-time. So where do you get the income from? You don't. So you need quantitative easing or you need stock buybacks. Now listen to this too. With all this ISIS going on, are you kidding me? This is going to kill the economy. This is going to kill the economy. Now listen to this. This is unbelievable right here. Listen to this. This is Joe on this morning.
It sounds ideological. It's not. I mean, you look at these numbers and you can see almost 6 in 10 Americans disapprove with the way the president's handling the war on terror. He says that ISIS is a JV team. 70% of Americans say they pose a great threat. He says ISIS is not contained. His Secretary of Defense is contained. Yeah. His Secretary of Defense goes on the Hill and says ISIS is not contained. His White House says right after Paris, ISIS can't strike in America. ISIS does strike in America.
So then Mika comes on.
I mean, what is it that we are not doing that we should be doing right now? Who can articulate that for us?
The problem is Richard Engel said that the president presented 4 things. 3 of them we were already doing, and three of Richard Engel said 3 of the things that the president said we needed to do moving forward had already been seen as abject failures. The 4th,
but he wants the failures because they need to keep Raytheon going. They need to keep this country going based on this war. The industrial complex. Join my gang right now, 877-600-GANG. Participate in our SH program.
Listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande.